slides up there. Yes, excellent. Good morning, shifters. You got your cup of coffee? I know there was a big queue at the start there, so I hope you're all pumped up. At least I am, so I'm going to... So, it's a great pleasure to be here and be one of the first speakers. And I'm here today to offer you a view into the future and to look at the future of money, the future of financial services, and how these changes that are in front of you have already changed a lot of societies around the world into becoming more or less cashless societies. And yes, we will do an announcement here today, so I'm super excited. But before we get to that, we will look through some stuff about the cashless societies. And I'm going to share you some views of how the world has changed in several markets around the world and some of the key drivers for that. This is my bragging slide. And so I invented mobile payments in the Nordics. And I started that journey in 2006, and I tried to sell the vision of mobile payments to banks for many years. And they all told me it was a terrible idea. I was wrong, it was dumb, go back to your entrepreneurial garage. But a couple of years later, I was right. So that was very fun. The whole notion of the future became reality. And after powering that transformation in the Nordics with mobile payments, I made some additional predictions about the future, about how newcomers would enter this space, how financial services would be challenged by the likes of Alipay, Facebook, Amazon Financial Services, Apple, and others. And lo and behold, I was right again. That has already started to happen, and it's going to accelerate over the next couple of years. Is my mic terrible? Can I get a new one, please? Excellent. Then I need to do two things at the same time. Speak and hold the mic. That's better? Perfect. So I don't really know the future, but I think my prediction track record has been kind of good. So I guess that's also why I'm up here, to try to show you some insights into how I believe the future is going to look like and how we're going to replicate some of the successes from the markets that we've powered to create cashless societies. So without any further ado, let me start to give you some of my predictions. So to me, it's quite clear that one of the key drivers for the change in the financial services space is driven by regulation. I know it's freaking boring, but PSD2 is coming and it's enforced. And I think that that's going to be one of the key driving forces for the change, specifically for the banks. Any bankers in the room? Hands up. Wow, quite a lot. That's good. So this is for you guys. So yes, technology and innovation and great user experiences and a lot of other driving forces are going to push the innovation of financial services. But the key thing right now is regulation. And as I said, it's enforced, and PSD2 is a game changer and a key driver, the way I see it, for the shift towards a more cashless society. We don't have time to go through all the consequences of PSD2, but in short summary, it means that come September 2019, the banks have to open up their APIs, expose that to third parties, and enable third parties to access your account and aggregate information and perform payments on your behalf if you want to. That's transformative, because it means that in the future, you can choose to consume your financial services and get a view into your financial information through any channel that you choose. That's transformative for the banks, because it means that they are in a position where they may lose the extremely important customer relationship, that interface that you use every day, because you can use any interface to have the same relationship. So I think that's a huge driving force for the change that I'm going to show you now. So what does that really mean? So in summary, it means that anything relative to financial services, anything that has to do with money for you and me, revolves around the bank today. The bank is the epicenter for financial services for most of us. But interestingly enough, all of us also use other services in our lives. So how many of you logged into Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or use Google or any of these services this morning? So that's everyone. Then again, how many of you logged into your mobile banking app this morning? Salary day? So there's a clear distinction between the two, and I think one of the points I'm trying to make here is the frequency of use between these two channels are quite different. There's a significantly higher frequency of use in these information services, but it's the same users, right? So financial services on the top and information services on the bottom. They share the same customer base, but they're separated in types of services. Anything financial services towards the banks, any informational services to the information service providers. That's how it works today, but we're sharing the same customer base. So what's going to happen tomorrow is that all of that gets rendered useless. That whole notion, that whole paradigm is in the past. Basically because the information service providers all have a financial services license. Facebook has one, Google has one, Amazon has one in Europe. So it means that they can serve you with financial services using PSD2. So they can access your information and provide you with payment services. That means that the clear separation between the two is going to disappear. That's how I see the future post PSD2. So what does that really mean? How is it going to look like? This is one example. How many of you logged into Facebook this morning? Don't be shy. And what's going to happen here is that because, again, the point of frequency of use is so great, and you're using Facebook as a channel. This is just an example. It could be any of the other apps you use frequently. It could be Gmail, for that matter, or LinkedIn. And because you're using that service so frequently, it makes perfect sense for your financial information to pop up there as well. So if you saw there on the top right corner, we can zoom in. What Facebook is going to do is that they're going to, as a result of PSD2 and Access, they're going to aggregate your account information and serve you up a holistic view of all your accounts in one place. Why would you log into the various mobile banking apps to check your balance when you can get the accumulated balance across all your accounts in one place and even drill down further into details and look at how you're doing across the various bank accounts? So that's a concrete example. I'm betting my hat, if I had one, on that Facebook is going to provide you this. So how many of you use Spotify? Come on. Well, there's ways around that, I know. So I'm sorry on behalf of the Nordic people. So coming from Norway, Spotify is Swedish, as you know. I know the guys, it's an excellent company. I use it all the time, my kids use it all the time. And an interesting thing with Spotify is that they are literally pouring out 7 million euros in card processing fees down the toilet every single month. What's the benefit? Yes, you can pay. That's a great benefit for Spotify. But the 7 million euros in card processing fees doesn't give them anything. So there's a huge incentive for Spotify to connect to your bank account and charge your monthly subscription there for free every single month. And with PSD2, they can. And again, if I had a hat, I would bet my hat, I'll actually eat my hat if they don't do this. Because it makes so much sense. It's going to create a better user experience for you. You never have to enter any card details. There's never any expiry date. There's never any 3D secure. There's just hooking up once to your bank account, and this will recurrently just charge for the amount that you already agreed that they would charge. And this applies to any other service that works the same way. Spotify is just an example. A final example to make a concrete prediction about the future. So Google is very good at analyzing data. We all know that. And in the future, post-PSD2, they're going to be able to aggregate my financial data and your financial data if you want to. Now, with access to that financial data, Google is excellent at analyzing data and creating excellent user experiences. Probably one of the best companies on the face of the planet when you look at all the various services that they provide. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at my spending habits. And I go to Google, I don't know about you, I go to Google for product advice, search for the products I want to buy, read about the stuff about the products to orientate myself around what I'm going to buy. And as you can see, cappuccinos are freaking expensive in Norway. So if I stop drinking them every morning for 6 months, Google has figured out that I can get my new favorite smartphone for free by simply stopping drinking coffees. So these are some of the predictions, a few predictions of what's looming, very generalized relative to PSD2. And for you and me as consumers, this is a great thing. because it means that we will be offered a lot of really interesting services. We get to choose from this forest of service providers, and there's so many new great services that are going to come up. Because of the competition, most of them are probably going to be free as well, because there's a different incentive than making money on the financial transaction that's driving them. The Google example is obvious. This data is extremely valuable for them because they can match you with your preferences relative to advertisers that are going to sell you products. If that sounds scary, that's what they're doing today, and we enjoy it. It's just going to become a lot better. But if you are a bank, this represents a huge challenge. How on earth are you going to compete against these high-frequency channels where all the customers are already present? We're all users of all of these services already, so it's like an impossible play because the banks need to catch up. They need to create something that has the same frequency of use, the same great user experience, the same value for all of us as consumers. So how do you do that? What's the magical recipe? How do you fix this problem? And by the way, you have up until September 2019 to do it, because that's when the floodgates open. So there's not a lot of time left to fix this problem. In a fintech or entrepreneurial or startup world, this is all the time in the world. But if you're a bank and you have less than a year to fix a problem like this, I can tell you I've been doing this now for 12 years, working with banks. That's not a long time. That's a blip. So I'm going to share with you my view of the world in terms of what is the answer to this problem. And this is what I believe drives the digitization of money. This is what I believe is the tool to help bring societies into a more cashless situation, to abolish cash, and to help customers get a better experience and to help drive businesses venturing into new areas of business, expanding their existing business, digitizing their business. And mobile payments, the way we have invented it, and the way we defined it, and the way we helped transform the Nordics, is these type of services. They're all molded on the same template. It's not a statistical outlier from the Nordics. I hear this a lot. Yeah, that happened in the Nordics. You guys are different. You're spoiled brats. You have all the oil, all the beautiful women, all the fish, and all the energy, and all the shit in the world. We can't measure up against you. That might be true, but for mobile payments, it's not, because it's happening all across the globe, across different markets, across different economical situations, and the results are the same. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. So in the Nordics, you have close to, these are actually outdated, so you have close to 70% market saturation. These are not shifted or tilted numbers towards total addressable market. It's population numbers. It means from diapers to diapers, right? So virtually everyone, my grandmother, my children, everyone I know use these services every single day. It's become the fastest growing financial services product on the face of the planet. It's undeniable. If you think you're different in Croatia, you're not. You're also going to be hit, and you're going to fall in love with these services, and they're going to transform your society completely. If it could happen in India, in China, now also in the US and in the Nordics, it will happen here. So in the Nordics, the banks have saturated the market. And as a consequence, with technology provided by us, and as a consequence, they've managed to protect themselves against this looming future post-PSD2. They managed to give the people and the businesses these services in a way where once Alipay, once Facebook financial services, Amazon's and the others arrive, all of you in the room would sit there and say, nah, I already have this. I'm using this all the time. I love this product. It's local. It works here. Why would I transcend into something new if it's just a blueprint of what I already have? That's exactly the dynamic that the Nordic banks were looking for, so they proactively launched this, proved it was a success, saturated the market completely, and by definition have protected themselves against this future situation where you lose the customer relationship. In summary, what it means is to provide to the customers what the customers need. And you need this. The funny thing is that even in the Nordics, if you ask people about payments and how they would pay, they didn't define mobile payments, but when they got it, they loved it. If you look into the history of the rollout of Uber as an example, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the old Ford quote. If I asked them what they wanted, they would all have said a faster horse. He invented the car, it was kind of a success. So people don't necessarily know how this is going to transform their lives until you try it. Once you've tried an Uber ride, you fall in love with it. It's very convenient. Even the taxi drivers prefer it. This is the same thing that happens with mobile payments. So the way forward for banks to fight the future competition and to build that valuable relationship and retain it that they have with their customers is to provide an awesome service in the form of a real mobile payment service. And that is what we are doing now. So I'm pleased to announce that we are bringing Settle, the European payments app, to Croatia. Yeah! Thank you. I've been waiting to say that for quite a while. It's based on our multi-award-winning mobile payments platform. And with Settle, we're not holding back in any way. We worked extremely hard to bring you the best and most thought-through customer experience that we have ever created. We've been in this business for almost 10 years now. We've seen it all. We tried and failed a lot of stuff. We've powered the innovation behind some 100 banks. And we're really taking out the essence of all our experience in bringing this service to Croatia. So let's dive in and explore how Settle is going to change your life and the lives of hopefully everyone in Croatia, like it has changed the lives of millions around the world by the introduction of mobile payments. So in short, Settle is simply an app you install on your smartphone, and it connects to all your funding sources. So you can add cards, you can connect to your bank account, you can get instant access to a line of credit, and all Settle users gets a stored value account, a prepaid account, a Settle account as we call it, associated with their phone number. You don't have to use that account. It can pass straight through directly to your bank account for free. There's no bullshit fines or fees or anything like that. But you can use the prepaid account if you want to, and I'll explain why that's so important. So if you have a child, I do, I have two. When I invented this in Norway, one of my personal problems with this was that I needed to pay my kids' allowance. And obviously they have a smartphone, and I couldn't. I actually had, in the most digitized economy on the face of the planet, I had to go to an ATM and pay 6 euros in fee to take out cash and then hand cash to my kids because they wanted to spend it. They wanted to take their allowance and buy candy and shit. They didn't want to put it in a savings account. They didn't know what a savings account was. But they had a smartphone. So with the prepaid account, you can send money to anyone. All you need is a mobile phone number, and the money can be just stored there if you want to, which means that kids gets financially included, finally, under the supervision of their parents. So they can then pay their friends and pay at the local cantina, pay at the small stores, and potentially also pay online if you allow them to. That's why we have the stored value account. So this is a summary of what this is from a business perspective. So Settle is a fully managed mobile payment platform. It's a scheme, and we bring the service to the market, but we partner. So we're not challenging any banks. We are in a partnership model. We believe in the ecosystem idea. We know that providing the operation, providing the customer support, providing the compliance, analyzing the risk, building the marketing material, designing the products, the go-to-market plan on how to serve the market in the best possible way, how to set the pricing for these services are key to success. We've done it before, so we're bringing that value together with the technology into the market. But on the distribution side and on the revenue sharing side, we are partnering so that we can do this together. We know that the ecosystem construct of a mobile payment scheme or any payment scheme is extremely important. I've seen guys being extremely powerful say, we can do it ourselves because we're the biggest, we're the best, whatever it is. There's one exception, and that's Alipay. They're the outlier. Besides Alipay, no one has succeeded with that model. And the reason why is because you might be extremely good at acquiring merchants on one side. and then you're terrible at acquiring consumers on the other side. Or you're very good at getting consumers onto something, but you're not really good with the merchants. And today, there are these sectors of different type of people and different type of merchants that you need to address. Visa created the four-party model where people collaborate. Yes, you're competing because you're competitors, but you're collaborating on creating an ecosystem where everyone can join. That's more powerful than anything else. My merchants will join the scheme, and your customers will pay to them. We both benefit. And doing it alone does not facilitate that ecosystem. It's the world's famous and most successful scheme model on the face of the planet, and it's the four-party model. That's exactly how Settle works as well. So if you have consumers, you can join Settle and issue Settle to your customers, distributing it, being financially incentivized to join the scheme. You get all the benefits as if you would do it yourself, except you don't have to build the technology, you don't have to do anything of the compliance, you don't have to run the product development, you don't have to take any financial risk, you don't need a license because I already have it. And equally on the acquiring side, you don't take any financial risk, you just bring the service to your merchants and you make the same money as you would do if you own it yourself, and we can own it together. So that's the model for Settle. Maybe you want to see a bit of the product. So I'll show you a bit of the product for the last 8 minutes I have here. So obviously enrollment is super easy. This is the actual app. You simply sign up using your mobile phone number. We verify that with an SMS OTP. You choose a PIN and you turn on biometrics if your phone supports that. This works on any smartphone. And if we need to identify yourself, we built that as well. So you don't necessarily have to identify yourself if you're below the spending limits, but when you do, we do full KYC in the app. You scan your identity paper, we do a selfie, and anyone, anywhere in Croatia can sign up within a minute, regardless of where you are. You don't need to visit a bank anymore. Sending and receiving money is obviously super easy. You choose a contact from your address book. Any phone number will do. And you send the money. You can choose from any of your connected funding source, your card, your prepaid balance if you're a child, your bank account if that is connected. Post PSD2, all bank accounts will obviously be connected. And you send the money. And you're left over in this great interactive social environment where you can chat and share pictures of funny cats from the internet with your friends. Interesting thing is that every payment actually has a story. Just think back the last time you paid a friend, there's a story relative to that payment. We don't necessarily think about the social aspect of payments, but it's a very social gesture. If we split a coffee, if we go out to drink, if we buy a gift for a friend, all of these situations are very socially powerful, and we enable you to tell that story and share it with the people you pay to. You can also request money, obviously, so if you have that friend that always lifts his wallet when you go out, you can ask for the money back. We have some amazing merchant products. Merchants is extremely important, and this is where we really want to bring our vision and our experience. So we've spent, as I said, almost 10 years doing this, and we've learned that mobile payments is an extremely powerful tool in enabling business. We want to enable the small business. If you're a founder, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a family business, whatever your business is, even if you don't know it yet, this is a toolbox to empower people to build, expand, and grow their business, to meet the customer in a better way without requiring any new hardware. So the digital cash, simply put, you enroll as a business on the website, full self-service, you get to assign a merchant identifier, you add your bank account for settlements. If you don't have one, we will provide one for you through one of our partners. And if I'm a consumer and I want to pay to you and you are a merchant, I just start my app and I click pay. And lo and behold, you will show up in the top of my contact list because you're right here. That's how easy it is. If you choose not to use location services, I can search for your name. I know the name of the cafe I'm in. I enter the name, Broop, just like you search for contacts today in all your messaging apps, all day, every day, you'll find the same contact even if it's a business, right in front of you. And finally, if you want to, it also supports QR codes. We've worked with QR codes for 10 years, and it's a very easy way to initiate a payment because it works in any media, online, printed, in the store, at the marketplace, wherever you are. It just replaces the connectivity for setting the recipient. So I'm at the market buying bananas from you. I just scan the QR code, boom. It says, well, this is the banana store, and I owe you five kunas for the one banana. I send it, you receive the money instantly. That's digital cash. Very low threshold service for people to digitize their business, accept payments anywhere, anytime. This is the revolutionary bit. This is what is going to take businesses even further and truly expand the reach of what you can do. Imagine that you're running a business today, and with a few clicks you can create a digital presence in the pockets of everyone in Croatia. You can create a digital store. I have my small physical store. If I sell food, if I sell, knitwear, ties and suits, or whatever I sell, I can expose it in the pockets of everyone. And we as consumers can sit right here, right now, and feel we're a bit hungry for some lunch, or I need a new tie because I didn't bring a tie, because I'm not a banker, or I soiled my shirt this morning eating breakfast. I need a new one. I can browse the marketplace and find businesses that are relevant or nearby to me. I can place my order, and I can then, depending on how the merchant wants to support this, I can take orders in store. So imagine you're sitting in a bar. You can just order food or drinks and get it served to your tables. That's in store. I can pre-order and ask for delivery if the merchant chooses to support delivery. Or I can ask for pickup, so I can come and pick up later. This is the Uber moment. It's the Starbucks app moment for any business in Croatia. And I really think it's going to be transformative and empower local, smaller mom-and-pop stores to step up and really compete against the big guys that has all the money, all the distribution, all the marketing. Because at the end of the day, I think all of us just wants great service, the right product at the right time. With this tool, you can find it no matter who is providing it nearby you. And you can even support local business by choosing the right brand. You don't have to buy from the big brands every day. So that's the marketplace. We also feature a beautiful and easy to implement API. It's a RESTful JSON API for those geeks in the room. It uses OAuth for authentication. It's excellent. And that means that you can implement settle support virtually everywhere. In this example, it's e-commerce. So write 2 lines of codes on your web page, and you can expose a QR code, or if the customer is browsing from his mobile phone, that becomes a settle button. You click that, the bill jumps to your phone, you authorize the payment, and you're done. No card numbers, no expiry, no CVC2 code, no 3D Secure ever again. And in addition to that, through the API, we have GDPR compliant data sharing built in. So when you're on an online store, you never need to sign up, you never need to fill out any forms ever again. All the data will be shared automatically with the merchant if you allow it. The data is yours. Same for retailers. You use the same API. You can accept payments in physical stores if you want to. We know that mobile payments is not going to revolutionize retail. You can pay in retail today. But if the retailers want to, and it happens once you saturate the market, we support that as well. The beauty we bring to retail is the data sharing. So again, if you allow it, you can share data with the retailer. So when you walk into your favorite burger place with the hipster, gourmet, artisan burgers, the burger place can ask you on your phone, hey, is it okay that we recognize you next time you come and shop with us? It's our burger loyalty. And in exchange for that, we will count the burgers and give you every 6 burger for free. Approve or deny. You choose. If you approve, we share the data. And that happens in the API. Brings great value to the merchant. Finally, they get to know who their customers are, can deal with them and provide them with loyalty. And that's why Settle is better than traditional payments in retail. Works the same way in third-party apps. The great benefit here in third-party apps is that you don't have to enter card numbers or anything again. It never expires. If you ever have that parking app or that other type of app that you are annoyed by, right when you need it, it fails. We're directly connected to your bank account. It will never expire, so it will just work. Same API. We also do invoice payments in partnership with invoice producers. We offer banks to reach out to their customers by providing real-time credit, which is a great service for you if you're in need and you're in a context where you want to pay. The bank that you bank with can give you a real-time credit issuing when you need it in privacy without having to talk with anyone. There's loyalty programs built into the platform. Self-service merchant portal, as I said. You sign up there, you manage your customer relationships, you do your product management in this tool. You see all your transactions and can deal with them and refund them. There's all the settlement reports that you would ever need, including exports to your accountant in all various forms, Excel, PDF, CSV, even through an API if you want to geek out completely. So that's what we're bringing, and if you don't take our word for it, I encourage you to check us out and see if we're solid. We're also very proud of the back end of all of this. We're certified here, from here to kingdom come. Too many certifications to mention. So in conclusion, this is my final slide. The cashless society has been created before. The primary driver is a rock-solid, beautifully made, smart mobile payment scheme. And Settle, the European payment scheme, the app, is going to be launched now in Croatia. And we can't wait to see if you guys are going to use it, and if you want to partner and help digitize Croatia and make it into a cashless society. If you want to be the first one to join, I've reserved a special spot in the queue for you. So just go on to settle.eu, and you'll be able to join the waiting list, and we will let you know the moment you can download the app. And if you're like me and very passionate about this future, please join and spread the word and tell everyone you believe would have a use for the services, either as a consumer or as a merchant. We would love to bring you all on board. And thanks for your attention and your love. Hope you enjoyed it.